I'm Betsy Homemaker, and I am so excited to be here today. We are going to be baking a dessert called Betsy's Raspberry Lemon Squares. I was thinking that whenever I do a segment in the kitchen, it might be fun to give it a name, like Betsy's Homemade Kitchen, or Baking with Betsy. Let me know in the comments below if you like either of those, or if you have your own idea. As a gesture of thanks for bringing me into the magical world of KTnarnia, and for casting me in the future talk show Backwoods Banter, I wanted to do something very special for KT because I know that she has a boo-koodle of food sensitivities. Now we all know that any immune-compromising or autoimmune disorder calls for a readjustment in the diet regimen. And thanks so much to Brianna over at King Arthur Flour Baker's Hotline for helping me suss out some of the replacement. I'll put a link to their site in the description below. So while you may be sitting at home thinking about how eliminating and replacing usual dessert ingredients will compromise the flavor, well, you're right, except for this time it won't be for the worse. It'll be for the better, the much better. Let us begin. First, you'll need your ingredients, and because there are two parts to this dish, the cookie crust and the raspberry lemon filling, I'm going to give them to you separately. For the cookie crust, we are going to mash 1/2 cup of avocado, 1/4 cup of raw honey. Now in this case, I would prefer orange blossom, but while I couldn't find any, I did decide to get some really good local honey. This is Georgia wildflower honey, pure, raw, and unfiltered. 1 teaspoon of pure orange extract. 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon zest. This usually requires 1 medium-sized lemon, but because mine are somewhat small, I decided to use 2 just in case I don't have enough. But who knows, I might just need 1. We'll also need 1/8 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons, which is approximately 141 grams of Trader Joe's all-purpose gluten-free flour. Now, they are not sponsoring me. I don't have any brand deals. I just prefer Trader Joe's gluten-free flour because of other gluten-free flours. This one seems to be the best at keeping things moist and not crumbly. I've really enjoyed the results that I've gotten from this flour, so I'll continue to use it until it proves me wrong. Now onto the raspberry lemon filling. What you'll need for this is 1/4 cup of ground chia seeds blended with 3/4 cups of water, 1/4 cup of Trader Joe's gluten-free all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon zest, same thing as before. 2 tablespoons should equal about 2 medium-sized lemons, so I brought extra just to be safe. You'll also need 1/2 cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. It should take about 2 or 3 lemons, so hopefully it'll take the exact number that I end up zesting so nothing goes to waste. And last but certainly not least, we'll need 1 scant cup of raspberry juice and pulp from approximately 2 to 2.5 cups of frozen raspberries. Okay, here we go. So what I've done is I've begun thawing out the raspberries. As you can see, they do take a little while. They were frozen. So now I'm going to preheat my oven to 325. Ideally, what you'd like to use is an 8x8 inch glass pan. However, today all I have is an 8x11, so these are going to be a little bit thinner than I would like, but we work with what we've got. Now it's up to you. You can line it with parchment paper or you can spray it with a cooking spray. But I don't have any parchment paper, and due to the food sensitivities, I don't want to use the cooking spray that I have on hand. So I'm going to oil it up a little bit with some olive oil. I have the opinion that olive oil actually improves the flavor of a lot of baked goods, so let's see how it works out on these raspberry lemon squares. Alrighty, we're going to set this to the side and we'll begin mashing our avocado. This avocado is actually perfect. You want them to be super mushy, so when you push on it, it's very, very soft. In a lot of cases, when it's super soft, you might open it and it's brown, and that's not good. You want to toss that one. You want it to be green and just beautiful like this one. It's super mushy and super green, so it's perfect. It's going to be very easy to mash and to work with. If any of you out there are not familiar with avocados, you're going to want to remove the pit here. To begin, you do not want the outer skin. You're just going to scoop out what's inside here and bring it out, and we'll start mashing it up. Alrighty, so I've moved the avocado into this little bowl and I'm going to mash it up a little bit more. Hey everybody, I just wanted to let you know that the battery on the camera decided it wanted to die, and so I decided to charge it, and while I was doing that, I was zesting the lemon and getting all the other little measurements out and it has begun raining, so it's a perfect day for baking inside. We left off with the mashed avocado, so our next step is to add the 1/4 cup of honey. And you want to mix this up really well, like you're scrambling eggs. Get it really nice and blended. Now we'll add the 1 teaspoon of orange extract, 1 tablespoon of zested lemon. If any of you at home are not totally familiar with zesting, I'm going to provide some video links for you to follow from some cooking shows that I enjoy here on YouTube, and they will show you how to do that at home. So we'll also add 1/8 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 cup of the flour, and we'll begin mixing again. I usually like to start off with a fork and then move up to the whisk. Oh boy, can I smell that honey. I think the combo of honey and orange and lemon is really nice. Okay, once you feel like you've done a sufficient job of mixing all this up, you'll want to add the rest of your flour for the cookie crust, which was another 1/2 cup, as well as 2 tablespoons. And then we'll just start mixing again. I think I need the whisk now. Now don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. We're treating it like dough because that's pretty much what it is. A really super healthy dough. Okay, so what you've got is this awesome little crumbly but also Play-Doh-like substance here of all of our ingredients, and what we're going to do now is we're going to press it to the bottom of our pan. I'm gonna spread it out. Replacing butter with avocado almost makes you want to have lime raspberry squares instead of lemon because it's green. Alrighty, now that this is all pressed into the bottom of the pan, you can go ahead and put it in the oven. We'll begin cooking our cookie crust. We're going to do it for 15 to 17 minutes or until it begins to brown around the edges. Alright, here we go. Our cookie crust is all done, and I wanted to let you guys know that it took 20 minutes, not 15 to 17. It's all about trial and error, and your oven could cook things hotter than other ovens. Just keep checking on it. You definitely want to make sure that the outer edge is somewhat browner than the rest. For now, we're going to set this off to the side to cool while we prepare the raspberry filling. So my raspberries are totally done defrosting, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and put them in this Vitamix. Quite recently, I loaned my food processor to a strange old lady at the Backwards Banter studio, and the next time that I saw her, she didn't even remember who I was, so I don't know if I'll ever see it again. So for now, we're going to use a Vitamix, and I'm going to show you how to make puree with a Vitamix. Just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the raspberries in, not just a cup. Okay, so when you're pureeing with a Vitamix, you want to go ahead and take this top piece off so that you can fit your mashing tool down in there. Alright, and we're going to begin on a very low speed. Let me get this stuff out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, well you can't really see me, so I'm going to stand up and I hope you're okay with that. First of all, you want to come over here to the number 1, and then you want to start. Now because the raspberries are already pretty mushy, I hope this isn't too loud. So because the raspberries are already pretty mushy, this shouldn't take too long. I think we're good. Okay, so next we're gonna run it through a sieve and to get rid of all of the seeds. I'm placing the sieve over this glass bowl, and I'm going to use this curved scooper to push the juice through. You can also use the scooper to get out what you couldn't get just from pouring it. Alright, let's start here. Let's start here and see how we get. You wanna come look and see what I'm doing? too bad that I didn't do this with the lemon zesting. It would have been fun to watch that in fast motion, huh? But of course I was charging the battery and look at all these lemons. I ended up using 7 lemons to zest for the 3 tablespoons worth. You should always get more than you need, just in case this happens. Okay, so now I need 1 cup of puree. Alrighty, I've got my 1 cup of raspberry puree ready to go. But instead of tossing it into a bowl just yet, I'm going to set it for the side and continue getting my ingredients together. Okay, so now I have a 1/4 cup of chia seeds. I'm going to toss them into this grinder and grind them up. Now what you've got should be very powdery. Alright, so now you want to dump it into 3/4 cup of water. And now you want to blend this up really well with the water. What you want eventually is a nice kind of pasty texture, similar to an egg. Alright, this is perfect. So pretty too. Okay, here's our large bowl and we are going to add this to the bowl. It'll be our first thing we put in there. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of the Trader Joe's gluten-free flour. So you want to mix this around until there are no lumps. So I'm going to start off with the fork, and then I'll graduate to a whisk. Okay, so I didn't end up needing the whisk after all. I just used the fork, and what I ended up with was this nice, gooey substance. It's really good. It's just chia, flour, and water right now. Okay, as I said before, I really love orange blossom honey, and I actually fibbed a little when I said that I didn't have any, but I don't have much, and I think that what I'd like to do in this 1/2 cup is use the actual orange blossom honey. It's much sweeter, and it actually has some antibacterial qualities that are great for people with autoimmune disorders. Perfect. So I'm going to add this. Now stir that up. Okay, so I do see a few lumps, so I'm going to grab my whisk. I may have forgotten to mention that you need to increase the temperature of your oven to 350 degrees. Now we need 2 tablespoons of lemon zest, which I prepared earlier. And we'll need 1/2 cup of lemon juice. So I thought that I would do this with you today. In order to get the most juice from a lemon, make it easier to juice, is you want to roll it around. And I think you should do this for about a minute. Some people say maybe 10 seconds, but I say longer. You just want to do it until it starts to get really good and smushy. So we have our 1/2 cup, and I highly doubt just 1 lemon is going to do it. So just start with the 1. See, I've already juiced 1, so now I'm going to juice another one just to make sure I have enough. Cut the lemon in half. Doesn't have to be perfect. Stick your fork in there. Squeeze while you go up and down. Now you're going to probably squeeze some seeds into the juice, so that's okay. You just need to get them out later. It looks like my battery's dying again. The lifespan on this battery is pretty bad if you can't tell. Just so you know, once I'm done doing this, I'm going to put 1/2 cup of this juice in with the rest of our mixture, and then I'll add the raspberry puree. Okay, so while the battery was recharging a bit, I went ahead and juiced the rest of the lemons, and I'm going to pour that in first before I throw in the raspberry puree. So let's mix this up. Alright, now let's do the last part. Finally. There we go. Isn't it beautiful? It smells so good. I wish you could smell it. Maybe you can if you're following along. Alrighty, so I'm just going to pour this into the pan, and then I'm going to pop it in the oven on 350 for about 28 to 30 minutes. Alrighty, here we go. for 28 to 30 minutes. Alrighty, it's time to take it out. Look how good this looks. As you can tell, I've been cleaning up while this has been cooking. But now that it's done, I'm going to allow it to cool down all the way. After that, I'll pull them out and I'll cut them into squares. And then I'll take them to the Backwoods Banter Studio to share with my co-hosts. I can't wait. And we are back. Alright, here we go. Final verdict. They're amazing. Okay, for those of you who don't mind the seeds, I decided to hold on to mine to see if it would be good to put on top. As some of you know, the seeds of a raspberry are the healthiest, most nutritious part of a raspberry. They're very high in a special antioxidant known as ellagic acid. And this is what beats cancer and gets rid of tumors and wonderful stuff like that. So what we're gonna do to keep it healthy, if you don't mind having seeds in your teeth, I'm gonna put a little piece on one of these squares. See how that goes. And just for fun, I'm gonna put a fresh raspberry right on top. These are absolutely amazing and so worth all the hard work it took to make these. Depending on your taste preferences, I actually wouldn't mind experimenting with having a layer of chocolate in between the cookie crust and the raspberry. I think that would make it the ultimate dessert. Now this is just great the way it is, but chocolate? I could put chocolate on almost anything. Alright, that's it for today, folks. I hope that you enjoy the raspberry lemon squares and that you're not afraid to make them now that you know that they're amazing. Just remember that when life hands you lemons, you can always make raspberry lemon squares. Bye! Hi guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to KTnarnia so that you can see more of her videos and that you'll be able to see our new show, Backwoods Banter, once it's out. Who knows when that'll be, but we have been filming episodes, so don't worry, they're coming. Remember, if you're using a computer or a touchscreen device, you can click or tap in the top right corner on the little circle with an eye in it, and that will bring you a drop-down menu of more videos to see. In the meantime, I thought I would share something. Again, I am not being paid by Trader Joe's. There's no brand deal. I just felt like bragging because it's really good. Now, this is dark chocolate with raisins and pecans. And it is Trader Joe's brand, and it's organic, and the ingredients are just phenomenal. And the taste, it's the best chocolate. I think it's my favorite. Just had to say so. And off comes the apron. Bye!